Hi everyone, welcome back to Katarina's Garage. My name is Katarina Lloyd, and today we're going to be talking about what all have I done to this car to be able to actually keep up, or mostly keep up anyways, with cars that are much faster than this car. So, if you saw my last video on the track day that I was on, I was only about 2 seconds off of about a 2015 or so Subaru WRX, and I was only 4 seconds slower than a 2017 Subaru WRX that was driven by a buddy of mine. So how exactly did I get this plucky little straight six to do that? Well, first up, what I did was I spent $300 and bought myself an 8.8 rear end with 355s. It was a used. It came out of an 86, and it works really well for what I needed. The other big thing, this car was a C4 automatic, and I swapped it to a T5 manual. It's an early T5 with a 295 first, and it doesn't have the good overdrive, you know. It's a 0.72 rather than the 0.69 or 0.68 overdrive that the world classes are. That was a total of $800 for the entire swap that I did. Now, it can cost you more than that. It can also cost you less. It just depends on what you have, what you need to do. I got the pedals for free, but everything else cost me money, and I was able to get some used parts, some new parts, and make it work. So, and that T5 works really well, and it came with a Hirsch short shifter, so that was a win. So I was able to sell the one that I had at the time, and no big deal. So, then we go to what's under the hood, because it's only a 200 cubic inch inline six in this car, which, let me pop the hood and kind of show you all that. Just give me a second here. So we go over to the front, and like I said, there's only a 200 cubic inch inline six under the hood here. So it's nothing that special. But the little things that I've done have really improved this thing massively. And so, you see, there's the inline six in here. And then if I pop off this air cleaner, you'll see the one of the biggest upgrades I did. Now, this actually didn't really add any power. If it did, it was marginal. But we take a look. Pop this off. And you see this little Motorcraft carb. Now, I got this actually for free off a buddy of mine. But if you're looking to buy one of these, I used one. You're looking at, like, it's a Motorcraft 2100, maybe $50 to $100 max. I paid, I believe it was $80 for the billet adapter. I paid $140 for the HEI ignition, which is just way better than the stock Motorcraft system. Just, like, the Duraspark was awful on this thing. I've got a dual exhaust, which is $390. That was with supplied tips and supplied mufflers. And it's got a full emissions delete, which was free. I did put Street Fire wires on it, but to be honest, that doesn't really affect too much in power and stuff like that. But they are better than what is standard. And that was, I got them on sale for, I think it was $80. And they're sort of a build-it-yourself thing. The rad was $320. The battery was $320 as well. So, under the hood here, you're realistically looking at, so let's say $390 plus $320. If I do the math in my head really quick, that's 6, that's 7. That's going to be about $850 plus that. We're at basically $1,000 spent under the hood of this car. It adds up pretty quick, you know. So $1,000 there, and those Optima batteries are so worth it. People say that they're bad, but I've never had an issue with mine. I've had it for 3 years. This thing, so the seats, I only ended up spending $20 on these seats, and they're well worth it. These are out of an 84 Mustang GT, you know, with the matching tweed, red tweed back seats, which is awesome. And, like, and if we take a look, you know, like we saw before, is, you know, because manual, you know, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Sometimes it's a little difficult to get into reverse because it's non-synchro, but hang on. It's not wanting to go into reverse. Come on. There we go. Like I said, sometimes it gets a little trouble because it's a non-synchro reverse in these. But yeah, and then it's a tilt column, but that didn't really affect my performance any. In fact, this is probably heavier than the stock column, to be honest. I did strip out the interior for the track day, but again, that was like no passenger seat, no rear seat, no carpet in the car, no center console, no cup holders. I took all of that out. And that saved me probably about 120 pounds or so, 120, 140 pounds between those three items, which is great. But again, that's free. That's just labor. That's all it's going to take you, is just labor. And this thing, so on the dyno with the 28-inch tall tires out back, it made 100 wheel horsepower and 220 torque. Now, realistically, this thing should make somewhere in the neighborhood of like 110, 115 with the current tires it has on it, because those are only 23.38 inches tall at 225 wide. Those other tires are 275 wide at 28 tall. So it's, it robs a lot of power of those tires, to be honest, and probably somewhere around 250-ish torque. So it's great. This thing really has a lot down low. It doesn't have much up high. Basically my shift points are at about 4,200 RPM. With this one, some people say, oh, you should rev higher than that. Just like, no, I actually lose speed if I rev higher than that, because that's where it starts to run out of gusto. So, and then of course there's just my natural driving ability, but it's one of these things. You can realistically get into racing and it not cost you like a ton of money, but at the same time though, it's not the cheapest prospect to do, because racing can be very expensive, especially if you have the certain safety things that you have to adhere by. Like as an example, do you need a helmet? Do you need a race suit? Do you need a roll cage? Do you need a roll bar? All that different stuff, and it just depends. That track that I was at does not require a roll bar, and for that particular event, it did not require a helmet. Now, if I was in a convertible and I went to the normal events, I would need a roll bar, and I would also need a helmet. So, but overall, like, it was a very fun event, and that's just a once a year type thing that I do. And I'm honestly very, excited for the results that I had, because when I looked into it a little deeper after the fact, I kind of realized that in my class, which is the 2-liter to 4-liter class, it's a big class. There's about 20 or so of the cars that were part of that class. And it ended up being I was like 4th or 5th fastest, which is amazing for, like I said, a little plucky little 6 that I call this. And Stitch is amazing. I love this car to pieces. And there's nothing that I'd really, correction, there's stuff I would change about this car. Like, I want to have the header on it. I want to put different suspension, sway bars, all that different stuff. But like, I'm stock suspension underneath this car. And, basically I've spent on upgrades on this car probably somewhere around $3,000. Some stuff I've gotten as gifts though. Like, and even the aerodynamic stuff. So the spoiler was free. But this whole front end cost me $350. Because the hood was $100 and then the front end was another $250. So I don't know where we're at for stuff, but like I said, it's around $3,000 in upgrades in total, and I realistically don't have like a ton of money into this car, because if I really think about it, I got a lot of stuff for like free, or didn't spend a lot of money on it. Like this steering column as an example, that was free. Took it out of the car. Pedals, those were free, and it's nice because it came with the nice billet BBK quadrant, so that's cool. The exhaust was free, although I did spend about $150 on a really shitty exhaust to be put in at one point, and then my buddy saw it, he cut that out, he took it to the shop, and then he surprised me with this new exhaust system, and it sounds just so good. But yeah, so that's basically where we're at with the build on this so far. Now, what are the future plans that I have for this car? Well, this manual here, I'm thinking I'm going to swap out the entire drivetrain other than the rear end. Why, you might ask? Well, I have that 82 Mustang with the very rare bell housing pattern. It is the small block Ford bell housing pattern. And to my knowledge, it might need a specialized flywheel, but everything else is small block Ford. You can run the 12-inch clutch, and you can run, you know, V8 like a 302 starter and all that different stuff. So, and it's another 200 inline six just like this. And I'm thinking of swapping this engine and transmission out, dropping it in essentially as it is into that 82. While the 82, so like that motor will go into here, and then I run all that, and then maybe, as an example, do a T56 swap. That'd be kind of dope, right? You know, like, it would be pretty swank. And I think that's a piece of glass that's on my dash there. There's still some pieces of glass that kind of got caught on some things on my dash when that big rock hit my windshield, so I'm gonna have to replace that, which I have it booked in for the 17th, I think it is, to get the windshield replaced. So yeah, but like the more I upgrade this car, little bit by little bit, the better it's gonna be. And what's interesting, I've got the stock sway bar up front with 0 sway bar in the back, and I've also got subframe connectors underneath, which only cost me, I think it was $220 total to get that all installed, like bought and installed, which is pretty cool. The welds aren't the nicest looking things, but they get the job done, and I really appreciate Richard for helping me out with that. He only charged me $100 to get them installed. While, you know, so yeah, it's honestly like really good, and you'd be surprised if you have the natural driving ability that I have. You can actually take a car like this that should have no business somewhat keeping up to vehicles that are like so much faster than this in a straight line, and should be faster around corners, being all-wheel drive and stuff, but yet it works out pretty good. And yeah, like these tires I just borrowed off a buddy of mine, but I only think he paid about $100 for these tires, so you know, if you want to add that into the cost, you can. And then the wheels, they're 10 holes, so you know, you can look at like $80 for a set of 10 holes that are half decent. See me. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan. Like I said, and I would love to put a T56 behind this thing. It'd be really funny to do, because people would look at it, and then they'd look at the gear shift, and it would show a 6-speed, and they'd be like, huh, what? You put a 6-speed in your straight 6? Why would you do that? You know, and for me, it's just, you know, extra gears, better overdrive, better fuel economy, win-win-win, right? Because yeah, like over the summer, you know, I do want to like over the winter, I want Stitch to be parked, and I want to be driving the Capri. That's the plan. The 82 will go under the knife, and like I said, motor, transmission from this swapped out, even the drive shaft, because I'd have to get a custom drive shaft for that T56, because the T56 is a much bigger transmission than this little T5. It actually weighs an extra like 90 pounds over this transmission, so I'd actually be gaining a decent amount of weight from that, but the gains from it would be great, and I don't have to worry about potentially grenading this weak little T5, because I'm already at kind of close to the threshold of the torque where these things like to go boom at. So that's kind of the challenge, because again, it's a non-world class, so it only holds about 280 foot-pounds of torque, and I'm right about there with this little thing. So, you know, but by the spring, I would love if this thing, with being naturally aspirated, if it could make somewhere in the neighborhood of about 170 horsepower to the crank. You know, that'd be cool. But like I said, this is all pie in the sky stuff. It might not even happen this way. We'll have to see. And yeah, I'm looking at a bunch of different things, and you know, money-wise, whatever else, because money's a little tight for some stuff at the moment. But that's how it goes, right? That's how it goes. Because during summertime, I wasn't making a lot of money. I'll start to make more money now, but I'm on like a 2-week sabbatical from work because I was very stressed out. I had a bit of a mental break, to be honest, and it wasn't great. So I'm just taking some time off, and hopefully see how I am when I come back, because hopefully I'm better, because if not, I don't know, I might need a different change of pace when it comes to my job. Even though I love my job, but sometimes it's just, you know, you need time away to think about stuff, and yeah. So anyways, that's kind of the rough plan with this car, the rough plan with the 82. The Capri, that one's still up in the air of what I want to do with it. I don't really want to do a lot of work to it. Like, I want to fix the strut tower rust and get the brake lines done and swap out the rear hatch. That's about it. Also get keys made for it. That'd be nice, because it doesn't have keys right now. But I can get keys made, oddly enough. I just have to pop out the door lock on the door. Get the, there is a locksmith here in town. He can come to your house. He can grab it. He'll take it back to his place. The next day, he'll give it back to you with 2 keys, and it'll cost you $20. At least that's what it was for the Civic. It might be a little more than that now, but like, that's worth it, 100%. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you all for watching this video. I couldn't do what I do without the support of every single one of you. You're all absolutely incredible, and you know, this car is my life. This is my first car. I bought it in 2019 for only $500, and $7,000-ish later, in total. You know, because like getting it on the road, I didn't actually spend that much money getting it on the road, but other people did. Because I didn't have a lot of like, I didn't know what I was doing when I first bought this car, and so through the grace of good people, they actually got this thing to different shops and whatever else, and I bought the parts, and all the labor was paid for me. So, like, in parts, I only had about, like, $400 or so in this car. And then, you know, labor rates, I mean, I don't know what that would have cost him, but I really appreciate Tyler, though, for that. And, yeah, no. And I'm always, you know, looking at other things and whatever else. I still want to get a truck at some point, but like I said, we'll have to see with financials and stuff like that. And then the Capri, you know, I need to get the brake lines fixed and then do the shock towers as well. But my dad's driving it right now, and it's relatively safe as it is, but that stuff will need to be addressed. And I think I know who I can get to actually do the brake lines. Well, I've got 2 people. I've got my buddy Keith, or I've got Steve out in Olds. So, we'll have to see. Anyways, thank you all for watching this video. Hope you are doing hope you're doing well in your life and everything. And yeah, take care of yourself, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.